Look, we got to discuss some news.
Shedeur Sanders is the most powerful black man since 2009. You know what happened in 2009? Right. That's when President Obama got elected in office. He's the most powerful black man since 2009. You said you was sitting there watching a game in your house, and what you did? You ran with the TV.
Goddamn right,
right? What was you doing, DB?
I was cheering. I was happy.
You was cheering like a motherfucker.
So basically, in so many words, as you can see, Kendrick Perkins. We all know Perkins. He do a lot of crazy talking, but on this subject in particular, I must agree with him. Shedeur, to a certain degree, but I mean, obviously, when you put the presidency and all of this, I mean, it could become kind of But I understand where he's alluding to. Maybe he was a little dramatic, but to be honest with you right now, Shedeur Sanders does have the black community captivated. But to be honest with you, he has the whole sports world captivated. I mean, we just got to call it how we see it. The man has he electrified. I mean, keep it real with you. It was against the Raiders. I believe he's got a phenomenal opportunity against the 49ers. I'm picking the Browns on the road. I mean, that defense is legit. We're going to get into Myles Garrett. We're going to get it over. Listen, we're going to break it all down. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe for more news updates and more involving Shedeur, the Browns, and all that. But let's keep it real with y'all, man. Shedeur Sanders, we know how he got into the league. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. He should have been a first round pick at the very least. If you don't want to say he should have been the top 5, top 10, whatever, he should have been picked in that first round. And for that not to happen, I mean, it's just bad. And you see how they're dealing with him. Man, listen, Stefanski, I want to hope that he always had a plan for Shedeur. Listen, they got rid of some people. I know a lot of people are upset about this and about that, but we got to keep it real. They got rid of some people. They had vets there, and listen, they made the way. They cleared the deck for Shedeur Sanders. Rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders on Sunday's home game. Pardon me. Shedeur Sanders will start. Pardon me. This Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers in their home game. This is reports from Kevin Stefanski. This is what he said, quote for quote. He says, Sanders, a 5th-round pick, will remain the starter even though Dylan Gabriel, a 3rd-round pick, has cleared the concussion protocol, Stefanski said. Now with Gabriel sideline, Sanders completed 11 of 20 passes for 209 yards with 1 touchdown and an interception in the Browns' 24-10 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday in his first NFL start. More quotes from Stefanski. The number one job of a quarterback is to win. So excited to get that first win under his belt, and the next thing is improvement, and that's what young players do. Certainly young quarterbacks do. You get one game better, and that's just you are working from that. That's just going to be our focus. So I bring up Stefanski because Kendrick Perkins has always been a little bit kind of crucial when it comes to Kevin Stefanski. Everybody has. A lot of people feel like the fix is in. Stefanski don't really want him. He wants Gabriel. A lot of people probably thought they was going to go to Gabriel no matter what, because you got to remember, before Shedeur Sanders electrified this weekend, he said that, okay, Shedeur is going to start, but make no mistake about it. When Gabriel is ready, he will become the starter again. Let's not rule that out. He said that. So that's why a lot of people rose eyebrows after that dub, and people wanted to know he really was kind of he was aloof. He didn't really say anything about it. And then the next day he said straight up that Shedeur is going to start. So Sanders, he's the 42nd quarterback to start for the Browns. I mean, this organization has just been ridiculous. Obviously, you bring up all of the previous quarterbacks they had before. They squandered, Baker Mayfield. I thought that they had their quarterback of the future. I don't know why, they jumped it on that one. It's crazy. But Shedeur, he was made for this moment, and it was so ironic that it happened in Las Vegas. You know, you had Dion up there. Listen, we going live too, so make sure you pull up. Dion up in the skybox with the cowboy hat on. I mean, it was just ridiculous up there. He was having himself a time, and can you blame him? Listen, they just wanted the opportunity. Obviously, they thought that they would be picked. They was always talked about in Shedeur. They was always speaking very highly of him. He was up there with Cam Ward. Obviously, he was in talks around Travis Hunter. The whole draft was centered around Shedeur Sanders as much as Travis Hunter, the two-way electrifying player. Obviously Cam Ward was electric coming out of college. People thought he was the guy. Shedeur Sanders dominated the draft. So we all know the NFL is like a fraternity. This would have never happened in the NBA. And that's another thing that we may need to discuss in another situation. But for him to just slip like this in the NBA, you might slip a couple of spots, but like look at Ace Bailey, for instance. He had a lot of demands and stuff like that. You still had an organization say, no, 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 you ain't going nowhere. They're not in the NBA, they're not going to pick a bunch of players that's subpar to and have a basic just a diamond sitting there. That would never happen in the NBA draft. They would take a risk on a hothead before they allow talent just to just fall out the draft due to this and that. So it's different in the NBA compared to the NFL. But in the NFL, I believe they all linked up and they said, listen, we're gonna teach Dion, we're gonna teach him, and we're gonna teach him a lesson. They probably was gonna he was still gonna get drafted, because I think if he didn't get drafted, that would have been a Kaepernick situation. That because this would have been even worse. Because Shedeur really never really did anything. You talking about him being boisterous, showing his watch. I don't really see the problem in that. He delivers on the field. He doesn't get in any trouble. We have to account for all of these. He's never been in any trouble. That's something that we got to point out. He was born for this. He was. Deion Sanders instilled a lot in him. He even said he the last hope. He joked about it because who knows what we're going to hear from Shiloh and things like that. But nonetheless, y'all let me know your thoughts on this Kendrick Perkins situation. We're going to have more Shedeur news updates and more. If you want more content from Flight Sports TV, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new, most definitely hit the subscribe button. Peace and love. You already know what it is. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders. It's Flight Sports.